Thursday, the 26th of February 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 6:30 p.m. news on BNews 1, and these are the headlines. Cameroon is preparing to welcome Pope Leon XIV for a historic pastoral visit scheduled from April 15 to April 18, 2026, with key stops across the country, that is Yaoundé, Douala, and Bamenda. Preparations are intensifying ahead of the highly anticipated arrival. And the National Anti-Corruption Commission, abbreviated as CONAC, has dismantled a network accused of selling the 8th March commemorative fabric at twice the official price. The anti-graft body is part of ongoing efforts to protect consumers and enforce government pricing regulations. That was it for the headlines. The developments and more coming up next. It's a pleasure meeting you. Uncle. As announced in the headlines, Cameroon is set to welcome Pope Leon XIV this April, following an official announcement from the Vatican confirming his apostolic visit as part of a wider African tour, a historic trip expected to strengthen ties between Cameroon and the Holy See, while drawing thousands of faithful across the country. Reports. The Vatican has officially announced that Pope Leon XIV will travel to Cameroon this April as part of a broader African tour that also includes Angola, Equatorial Guinea, and Algeria. The stop in Algeria will mark a historic first for a reigning pontiff. In Cameroon, the Holy Father is expected from April 15 to 18, with scheduled visits to Yaoundé, Douala, and Bamenda. The visit is anticipated to draw thousands of faithful and religious leaders, as well as government officials, underscoring the country's strong Catholic presence and its long-standing ties with the Holy See. Pope Leon XIV will become the third pontiff to set foot on Cameroonian soil, following the historic visits of Pope John Paul II in 1985 and 1995 and Pope Benedict in 2019. Those earlier visits left a lasting spiritual and diplomatic impact, strengthening relations between Cameroon and the Vatican. According to church authorities, the April visit aims to reaffirm the close relationship between Cameroon and the Holy See, while encouraging peace, dialogue, and social cohesion. It is also expected to highlight the role of the church in education, healthcare, and humanitarian efforts across the country. As preparation intensifies, both religious and civil authorities are working to ensure a successful and memorable apostolic journey, one that many believe will mark a significant moment in Cameroon's religious and diplomatic history. Still talking about religion, Pope Leon XIV is expected to visit Cameroon in the upcoming days, with Bamenda listed among the key stops of his pastoral journey. The announcement has generated excitement across the whole territory. Reacting to the news, the governor of the Northwest region, Adolphe Lele Lafrique, has expressed his thoughts on his significant upcoming Pope's visit. Here is an excerpt.
The representative of God is coming himself here in Bamenda. I'm therefore appealing the population of the Northwest region to mobilize themselves to welcome him warmly, and we are hoping that he's going to contribute along with the head of state, the government, the administrative authorities, and the other stakeholders, be them Catholic or non-Catholic, that yes, it will be a gathering for us to pray for long-lasting peace.
Talking about health, Cameroon's health sector has taken a significant step towards stronger collaboration and improved service delivery as the Minister of Public Health sealed 6 partnership agreements with key civil society organizations to expand and reinforce healthcare nationwide. Micheline Bilowa and Lucien Ballard for the reports.
The signing ceremony, chaired by the Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manauda Malashi, marked a new phase in cooperation between government and non-state actors in the health domain. The agreements were designed to pool expertise and resources in order to improve access to quality healthcare services across the country. Strategic priorities outlined in the conventions include strengthening primary health care, improving maternal, neonatal and child health, and intensifying the fight against HIV/AIDS and other priority diseases. The partner organizations are expected to expand their interventions nationwide in alignment with national health policies. Speaking during the ceremony, the minister emphasized the spirit of inclusion behind the behavior.
It's an inclusive ceremony. It's the vision of the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya, to say to all of actors, international and national actors, to be involved in the health sector.
He further underscored the broader vision guiding the move.
We have signed today this convention to be inclusive and to let them go and train other people, go and give the health in the community to run the politics of Cameroonian health organization.
One of the signatories, whose organization focuses on psychological support and mental health, highlighted the importance of integrating mental health into public policy.
We work with psychologists especially because when you have that problem, sometimes you need to be listened. You need to be listened, and you need to be aware that what you think can affect your health. The way you live in society can affect your health. Your childhood can affect your health. It is the reason why we go deep in the causes to identify them and to treat the problem where the causes are. The ministry, the government has recognized us. We have worked a lot. We have listened. We accompany. We refer.
With these 6 agreements now in place, authorities say Cameroon is consolidating a coordinated and inclusive approach to addressing persistent health challenges nationwide.
Justice Marie-Claire Dieudonné's son Elan has been installed as the new Procureur General of the Supreme Court of Cameroon during the solemn resumption of the Supreme Court for the 2026 judicial year in Yaoundé, appointed by the President of the Republic on November 20, 2025. She becomes the first woman to occupy the position. The ceremony brought together top judicial authorities and members of the government led by the Prime Minister, Chief Dr. Joseph Dion Ubute. And a major anti-corruption operation has uncovered an illicit network inflating the price of the official HMAS 2026 commemorative fabric in Yaoundé, just days before the International Women's Day celebrations. Acting on public denunciations, the National Anti-Corruption Commission launched a targeted crackdown that led to arrest, seizure, and the confirmation of corrupt practices within the distribution chain. Micheline Bilowa and Monique Bamio.
Just days before the celebration of International Women's Day, the National Anti-Corruption Commission, CONAC, dismantled the network involved in the illegal sale of the official 8 March 2026 fabric. During a press conference organized yesterday, February 25, the president of CONAC, Reverend Dr. Dieudonné Massigams, disclosed that the operations followed 2 complaints received on February 23rd through the Commission's toll-free hotline 1517, reporting the unlawful inflation of the fabric's price that went from 10,000 CFA francs to 15,000 CFA francs and more.
The price, according to the state, according to the structure in charge of producing this fabric, the price is 10,000 francs CFA 1 unit. What we have got, according to the denunciation that we have also got, is that many other people, many other persons are selling it more than that, at about 15,000-20,000. That is not good, and we have been informed about that, and we sent a team on the field to see if it is true, and we found that it is true that they are selling it more than that what officially decided as a price. So CONAC is calling the attention of the population in Cameroon so as to know that they are not permitted to sell that fabric much in another price which is not official. So those who do it must be considered like corrupted and corrupt people, and we will fight against it. And we couch many of them which are now calling to respond before the court.
Joint teams comprising CONAC, police and Mincommerce officials were deployed to verify the allegations.
That is the reason why we call you, so as to inform the population that they ought to be calm, that CONAC is doing what it has to do so as the celebration of 26th edition of International Feast Day of Women can be done without any trouble, without any problem.
2 suspects were arrested and handed over to judicial authorities after being caught in the act, while 59 6-yard pieces of the commemorative fabric were seized. The confiscated stock would be sold at the official price of 10,000 CFA francs and proceeds transferred to the state treasury. CONAC says it will intensify market surveillance to ensure transparency and protect consumers as the country prepares to mark the March 8th celebration.
Markets across Yaoundé are currently flooded with tomatoes, triggering a sharp drop in prices that is reshaping the city's food trade. While consumers are celebrating cheaper produce and fuller baskets, many traders say the unexpected surplus is cutting deep into their profits and threatening their livelihoods. Reports.
In recent weeks, markets across Yaoundé have seen an unprecedented surplus of tomatoes, leading to sharply lower prices and shifting dynamics for both sellers and buyers. At the heart of the city's vibrant produce market, from Mokolo to Mfundi and the neighborhoods in between, traders describe scenes of overflowing crates as trucks continue to arrive with fresh supplies from key tomato-producing regions. While this abundance brings welcome to relief households struggling with food costs, it is proving a double-edged sword for local traders who depend on tomato sales for their livelihoods. The current glut stems from increased harvest in northern and central agricultural zones, boosted by favorable weather and intensifying planting seasons. With more farmers bringing their products to market, the supply of tomatoes in Yaoundé has surged beyond typical seasonal levels. Prices, once driven by scarcity and high transport costs, have now plummeted. At some market stalls, vendors are selling tomatoes at nearly half the price seen just a month ago. For many consumers, this sudden drop is a welcome respite from rising food inflation. Ripe, juicy tomatoes are now within reach of more households than ever before. Despite the good news for buyers, many local sellers are feeling the pinch. With wholesale costs falling sharply, profits has all but disappeared. Some traders report have to sell at or even below the price they paid at the farm gate, creating significant financial losses. Economics notes that while price drops can be painful for producers in short term, abundant harvests ultimately benefit national food security and consumer welfare. Still, they stress the importance of market support systems, including storage facilities and regional distribution networks, to help balance supply and demand and protect both farmers and traders. As Yaoundé continues to navigate this tomato glut, one thing is clear: the current situation offers a complex mix of challenge and opportunity, a headache for traders, but a welcome boon for consumers.
In culture, in the heart of the Nyong and Ikele division, the subdivision of both Makak is hosting the very first edition of the Ntuleng Festival. This gathering is dedicated to celebrating the Bassa identity and the heritage of the Ndongbea clan. Details.
In the heart of the Nyong Ekele division, the subdivision of both Makak is hosting the very first edition of the Ntuleng Festival. This unprecedented cultural gathering is dedicated to celebrating the Bassa identity and the heritage of the Ndongbea clan. Blending a return to ancestral roots with the transmission of traditions, the event also features the symbolic enthronement of Matriarch Nkoko, making it both a moment of remembrance and a forward-looking cultural revival. In Ntuleng, within the subdivision of both Makak, culture is reclaiming its space. The launch of the maiden two-line festival marked a history moment for the local community. Designed as a platform to celebrate the Bassa identity, particularly that of the Ndongbia clan, the festival places memory, heritage, transmission, and a return to roots at the center of its vision. At the festival site, a press conference set the tone for the event. The promoter and members of the organizing committee outlined the major highlights of the program, including traditional dances, initiatory storytelling sessions, cultural exhibition, and performances by renowned artists. Held under the theme The Bamman Call, this inaugural edition positioned itself as a trailblazer. The most anticipated highlight is the enthronement of Maturian Nkoko, an emblematic figure and guardian of female traditions among the Bassa people. The symbolic act underscores the central role of women in preserving and transmitting ancestral values. Beyond the colorful displays and performances, the Ntuleng Festival carries a deeper ambition to strengthen the cultural identity of younger generation while projecting local heritage onto the national and international stage. In Ntuleng, culture is not only being celebrated, it is being reaffirmed as a pillar of identity, unity, and continuity.
And beyond our borders in Angola, the state oil company Sonangol has negotiated a $4.8 billion loan with China for a new Lobito company. And elsewhere, activities have slowly resumed at Carrefour Aeroport area of Port-au-Prince after a gang controlled by Vivasam. The roundup with you, Micheline Bilowa.
In Angola, the state oil company Sonangol is negotiating a $4.8 billion loan with Chinese financial institutions to finance a new oil refinery at the port of Lobito. If finalized, it will mark Sonangol's first major borrowing from Beijing since 2017, following a decline in oil-backed loans in recent years. The proposed refinery is expected to boost domestic fuel production, reduce reliance on imports, and strengthen Angola's energy infrastructure. The talks also signal a possible renewal of strategic financial cooperation between Rwanda and China. The United Nations Security Council has imposed sanctions on 4 officials from Sudan Rapid Support Forces. Among those targeted is Abdel Rahim Hamdam Daglo, deputy commander of the RSF and brother of its leader, Mohamed Hamdam Daglo. The sanctions include asset freezes and travel bans in response to alleged human rights abuses and the ongoing conflict in Sudan. The move aims to increase international pressure on armed actors to halt violence and engage in a political resolution. In Haiti, there has been a cautious resumption of activity in the airport junction area of Port-au-Prince, a key road junction that had been under the control of the gang